Hi, my name is Melanie Wallace,
Hi, and I'm Jersey Richter.
and today we're going to be talking about the benefits that public and private zoos bring to the economy, education system, and to endangered animals. Zoos are known for being establishments that hold a collection of wild animals, such as bears, zebras, penguins, and so many others. According to an article written by PETA, zoos carry out important research on animal behavior and how to treat animals with illnesses. One of the most important functions of zoos is their safe international breeding programs targeted towards endangered animals. A great example of this is John Linehan. John is the president and CEO of Zoo New England. Mr. Linehan is dedicating more than 30 years to protecting wildlife and educating people of all ages about the role that each living creature plays in the web of life. As the president and CEO of Zoo New England, he is not only responsible for making sure that the animals under the stewardship have exceptional care, but he is also responsible for ensuring that zoos fulfill the critical mission of conservation and educating visitors of his zoo from all ages of their role in a healthy, thriving ecosystem. According to Mr. Linehart, so many habitats are now weak, fragile, and dying, and it's going to take that same sort of team effort that we have put together to save these animals. His zoos and his companies bring unhealthy, dying animals and nurture them back to health. The example he used is a giraffe named Bo. Bo was brought in with a disease called giraffe wasting syndrome, which is considered fatal. They contacted every researcher around the world to get their input. They spent weeks and months nurturing him back to health, and now Bo is healthy and has had 5 offspring naturally. It's no surprise that there are zoos that don't treat their animals as well as Mr. Linehart does. And according to Debating Europe, animals should always be offered species-specific living conditions. They should be able to express their natural behavior and have happy lives, and this is not only true for zoo animals but for all kept animals. Luckily, an increased number of zoos in Europe have improved their standards over the last years, and animals kept in these zoos can be offered conditions which allow them to live in the most natural lives. A good zoo will enable these species to live and breed in a secure environment. The British Council also added that by bringing people and animals together, zoos have the potential to educate the public about conservation issues and inspire people to protect animals and their habitats.
Zoos are not prisons. Zoos at times get misinterpreted by other people's opinions and beliefs. Often, others mix up roadside zoos and international zoos. Roadside zoos act like small zoos, but they are just bad actors. They collect animals and put them into really small cages. They also mistreat the animals and abuse them just to show them off for money. Zoos take care of animals where all animals are trained and safe. At the Cincinnati Zoo, a gorilla was shot dead after a 3-year-old fell into his enclosure. Many zoo critics were debating about the role of their zoo and how the habitat was too open. According to Time magazine, zoos and aquariums exist to facilitate and promote the conservation of animals, even when animals are never introduced into the wild. Placing them under human care can still improve the lives of their wild counterparts. Do zoos still have place in the world? Zoos help animals when they are endangered or becoming extinct with their breeding programs. According to Does Zoos Still Have a Place in the World? Zoos held to high standards for the treatment of their resident animals. Both animal exhibitors are regulated by the Federal Animal Welfare Act, which establishes standards for animal care. The Federal Animal Welfare Act establishes only the most minimal standards for cage size, shelter, health care, ventilation, fencing, food, and water. Are zoos good or bad for animals? Many animals are being extinct or endangered all around the world. Many species are suffering, but with the help of zoos and their breeding programs, they brought some species back to the wild. For example, successful breeding programs brought the pure David's deer back from extinction. Though this Asian deer ceased to exist in the wild, Chinese and European zoo programs enabled 4 of the deer to be back into the wild. Zoos have also rescued a snow leopard from a traveling circus. The cub now spends his time running around and chasing small animals in his enclosure. Why the world needs good zoos more than ever. Many researchers think animals from many parts of the world are fighting for their survival, and many are losing. From humans being the top of the food chain, we affect the world, including animals based on our actions. Researchers say in the article, no population of a large vertebrate animal in the history of the planet has grown that much, that fast, or with such devastating consequences to its fellow earthlings. In the second graph, it shows when the population of a species grows beyond the capacity of its environment to sustain it. It reduces the capacity below the original level, ensuring an eventual population crash. There are many beliefs and opinions about zoos. Although zoos have beneficial outcomes on treating and taking care of animals, especially on endangered animals, zoos take their time to bring them back to their wildlife happily and safely. Thank you.